Before I get started with the story, let me give a shout out to Miss Anthropic on Discord for sending me this story that is coming out of Chicago, where you have this incident right here, and it's kind of grainy, where you have this incident, you have a black woman in this PC cop, and if you see by her leg, that's her dog. So basically, this woman's name is Nikita Brown, and she was walking her dog in the park, and all of a sudden she just got randomly attacked by this PC cop for no reason. Like, he actually started to fight her out of nowhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into this article. The Chicago police officer grabbed the black woman as she walked her dog in Lincoln Park and has been put on desk duty. The officer, whose identity has not yet been publicly confirmed, was put on administrative leave Monday morning, a police spokesperson said in an email statement. Superintendent David Brown said earlier in the day that the move is akin to having an officer sit at a desk. They make it seem like that's the biggest punishment in the world. The incident is also being investigated by the Civilian Office of Police Accountability. The agency had urged the police department to relieve the officer of police powers, which Brown said he reserves for serious cases where it appears the officer could be fired or put him on administrative duties while his officials investigate. Videos from the confrontation, which shows an officer walking closely after Nikita Brown, grabbing her and holding her as she tried to leave the park near North Avenue Beach, has spread quickly on social media. I was quite disturbed by what I saw, Mayor Lori Lightfoot said at an unrelated news conference. It looked like the woman was following the direction of the officer and leaving the beach. This is a pretty straightforward matter. It's concerning what we saw in the video. Nikita Brown's attorney, Keenan Salter, who was also representing Anjanette Young, the woman whose home police wrongfully raided, said the police department hadn't given Brown a copy of her police report and his office needs to help in identifying the officer. This was an obvious case of racial profiling, Salter's office said in a news release. Ms. Brown is suffering from emotional trauma as a result of this brutal, unprovoked, and unlawful attack by the Chicago Police Department officer. About 12:12 a.m. Saturday, Nikita was walking her dog near North Avenue Beach when an officer walked up to her, according to Salter's office. The officer said he was confronting her because the park was supposed to be closed. She told the officer she was leaving the park, asked him to stay socially distanced because he was not wearing a mask, but he ignored her request. Video shows Nikita Brown asking the officer to stay distant and saying she's leaving the park, but the officer tells her he's going to handcuff her and doesn't need to wear a mask since they are outside. She recorded the officer with a phone and she tried to leave, but the officer attacked her. Video shows her walking away from the officer as he walked after her, waving his arms at her. At one point, she stops walking and appears to be using her phone. The officer tries to grab the phone from her hands and then grabs her arms as she screams for him to let go and tries to get away. He wraps his arms around her and holds her. Brown's small dog gets yanked around during the encounter as the officer grabs her and Brown's phone gets knocked out of her hands. The officer lets Brown go and she picks up her belongings and walks away while the officer watches. There were other people walking in the park when the officer chose to stop Brown, including a group of 4 white people she saw behind her. According to Salter's office, witnesses who were in the area recorded video of the confrontation. During a news conference Monday morning, David Brown said he only received preliminary information about the incident. He's asked for people to allow COPA to investigate. We don't have the person's full accounting of what happened, why it happened, what was said, David Brown said. Nor do we have the full accounting of the officer's statement. COPA is asking anyone who has additional information or video regarding the incident to contact them at the Chicago COPA.org. When she mentioned that there was other people around her, like other white people around her, and she was the only one that was stopped, that right there is when the claims of it being racial would definitely come into play. So yeah, we have another incident where you are black, minding your business. She's walking her dog. All he had to tell her, or all he had to do, was when he said that she was to leave, she was leaving, but I guess in his eyes, she wasn't leaving fast enough. I'm trying to figure out exactly how much of a threat was she when she was just walking her dog and she was just getting ready to leave, but she wasn't moving at the pace. She was not moving at the pace he wanted her to move. Because, when they tell us to leave or to move, they want us to move. It's almost like they want us to damn near teleport out of the area that we are in. And like I said, this is the part right here where he grabbed her. Now it's interesting how he just let her go. He didn't arrest her. He just grabbed her and then eventually he let her go. I think it's because he realized he was being watched. If he was out there by himself, something tells me that he probably would have did a lot more damage. Not saying that he wouldn't if there wasn't other people there, but something told him that, look, in the back of his mind, I don't want them problems, even though he kind of created it. And they're still giving him protection because we don't even know what his name is. But I'm glad that she's, doing okay. Her dog should have jumped up and bit him in the ass, but that would have definitely got him off of her then. But yeah, same day. Well, not same day, different day, same bullshit. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments.